The idiot convention continues with The Strangers, Chapter 2, part of a Chex Notes trilogy of stupid films. Why is this 3 movies? I don't know, but I'm going to tell you why this movie is a waste of your time. Let's begin with a spoiler-free review. Cold off the heels of the last Strangers film, this hour-and-a-half R-rated sequel puts us right in the hospital bed where we last left our poor Maya. But before I tell you whether or not she flatlines within the first 5 minutes, make sure to subscribe to Adam Does Movies on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. That way you won't miss any of my movie-related content in the future, and you can even look forward to a spoiler recap of The Strangers Chapter 2 just down the road. But I am going to spoil the first 30 seconds of the movie. Maya, unfortunately, lives. And we join her in that hospital bed as she tries to overcome the trauma of the last movie in that cabin where her fiancé was unfortunately killed. Unfortunately for her, I wanted them both to die within 10 minutes of the film starting. Because The Strangers Chapter 1 was unbelievably stupid. Like, I understand giving some grace to characters making poor choices. That's how you get a lot of the horror movies that you get. But these people go out of their way to do dumb. Like, oh, there's a noise over there. We should probably go hide over there in the basement instead of running away. What? These are the kind of things that they did over and over again. At some point, natural selection has to play a part, right? Maya has somehow made it into a sequel, and even though this movie is not quite as egregious with the stupidity, there's still plenty of it on display. Plenty of frustrating scenarios play out where you're like, how do these stupid strangers keep apparating along the countryside and finding this woman, not being able to kill her over and over, but taking out unsuspecting victims? It's like they're super awesome at using a crossbow to pick a person off from across a field, but when Maya's right in front of them, they're like, the damn crossbow again. She's gone. If you're one of the people out of a total of 1 that was sad that Ryan was killed in the first film, and you're probably the actor who played Ryan that I'm talking to, don't worry, he's back as a ghost. We have to have some of those reminders. We got to get that actor his paycheck. So he's going to cameo here and there just as like a stiff body, winking at the camera, tipping the hat once in a while. I'm in this as a corpse. For the most part, this movie is going to focus squarely on the shoulders of Madeline Petch. Since she's pretty much a one-woman army in this, the people she goes up against are wearing masks most of the time, so there's not a lot of acting on display. We have front row tickets to watch her partake in one of the most boring cat and mouse chases you've ever seen put to cinema. This is like playing hide and go seek with a 3-year-old, and after a while, you just get so tired, you end up taking a nap in the closet that you've been hiding in for the last 30 minutes. Like, oh my God, why are we still in the hospital after 25 minutes? Get out of there, you dumbass! She's being stalked once again by Scarecrow Guy, Betty Boop Lady, other porcelain face, doll face thing. And they're even more Casper-like than before, popping in and out like ghosts. Like, bing, I'm here now. Ka-bing! I'm over here now. There's a moment in the film where she puts a fucking pitchfork through one of them. I think part of it went into the vagina. She's like, and right after she stabs him, she's just like, bye. But take the pitchfork and go, what are you doing? Not that it matters, because the person she stabbed seems to have had no injury from it. Imagine getting impaled by a rusty-ass pitchfork in the thigh. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be running around the next day like, oh, nothing happened, let's go play some basketball. But that's what this woman did. When our Maya isn't spending 70% of this movie hiding behind things, we get to watch her stitch up a wound by the creek for what felt like 45 minutes. Sylvania! All of this pairs into one of the most shocking sequences of the film, and easily my favorite moment of the film, which is the reveal of a CGI beast that will stalk her. I won't go into details, but it is fucking hilarious. And you are definitely going to want to hear my spoiler video on this and how little sense any of it makes. But oh my God, it was such a pleasant surprise and so much fun to watch. And I wish more of the movie did dumb stuff like this, because when you're this bad, you might as well go all in on the ridiculousness. For those of you wondering if we're gonna learn anything about the strangers, well, yeah, we do get some background on them, which to some people is gonna be a problem because, you know, they're supposed to be strangers. But this film decided, in its infinite wisdom, to give us backstory on some of these people. And you better believe that backstory is dumb as fuck. A lot of horror slasher fans will set aside any story, plot, or even bad acting. Although I will say the main actress is far better in this film, probably because she's not bouncing dialogue off of her buddy Dopey. She's just able to kind of be more visceral in the moment and get more animalistic with the character. And she does a decent job. She does she does good. I feel bad for her being in this movie, but she's making money, so I suppose there's that. She got a trilogy out of it. A lot of horror fans are going to be here for the kills. And to that I say, you're going to be disappointed. And the ones that are there are incredibly tame. As for the scares, oh my gods. Grab yourself some earplugs going into this bad boy, because this thing is going to jump scare the shit out of you with the most obnoxiously loud effects you have heard in a movie since The Strangers Chapter 1. Anytime something pops out, it's just the loudest noise ever. I think I had some blood trickle out of my ear during the film. And because of the type of movie Strangers 2 is, you're going to expect that same caliber of audience. Now, there wasn't a full house by any means, but there was a good group of gentlemen towards the back of the theater who had no problem talking through most of it, pretty loudly as well. I almost felt like getting my own Stranger's mask, putting that thing on and grabbing a crossbow. Blood starts pouring out of his throat. I take off the mask. Impale the other guy like 4 times in the head with it. And then for the third, I take out my trusty knife, stick it through its throat, and carve that fucker like a pumpkin. Pop the top off, spin it around, and start pulling out the innards, feeding it to the other friend. You like that? You like that? The scenario I played out is far more thought out than anything in this movie, and I just came up with it on the fly. It's kind of sad that Rennie Harlin is once again directing this movie. The guy previously gave us Cliffhanger, Die Hard 2, The Long Kiss Goodnight. He's done some absolute bangers. This ain't it. The Strangers Chapter 2 barely moves the story forward at all, because there's no story really to move forward even. I have no idea how a trilogy got green-lit out of this dumpster fire, but here we are with Chapter 2. There's so little scares, so little action, so little anything to recommend watching out of this. And even the dumb stuff this time around is not that funny outside of the beast scene that I'll get into in the spoiler video. So there you have it. Such a mediocre affair, such a waste of time movie that's only thankfully 90 minutes long, but it feels much longer because of the poor pacing and the slow build of scenes. Everything is padded to hell and back just to get to that 90 minutes because there's nothing here. But unfortunately, we have one more film to go, and I will be there to tell you how poor it is. All right, let me know your thoughts on The Strangers Chapter 2. Were you like me and you thought, why is this still happening? Or are you fully invested in Maya and her escape from these masked, crazed lunatics? Let me know in the comments. Please, again, think of subbing to the show. Adam Does Movies on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, I guess. And that way, you won't miss a single video by me in the future, and I would appreciate it. All right, that's all I got for you. Hopefully I see you next time. Take care. If you appreciate my content, I am a one-man band. This is a ton of work, and you want a way to give back. Head on over to patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. There's tons of exclusive perks over there. Look at these awesome supporters so far. There's some of the best people on this planet, and you could be one of them. You could be right there alongside, and I would appreciate it.